Given to the Ihor Tkachuk, who will report on
the anti-corruption action. Igor, the floor is yours. Please switch on the mic. Good morning. Welcome everybody. Once again, thank you for coming to my report on the Ukrposhta state enterprise. There were a lot of scandals related to the fact that there are a lot of corruptive actions in state enterprises and Ukrposhta. We must exercise all of our efforts to overcome this corruption, and we started a program on fighting corruption, on preventing the probable actions of corruptive nature, and this program has been adopted on the board of directors, and it's only the beginning of the activity we will discuss today, and this is the beginning of the great fight against corruption, not only corruption but neglection as well, and neglective actions of many people, incorrect job efforts of certain directors of Ukrposhta, and I'm more than convinced that Ukrposhta could work without losses, but unfortunately some directors, they show losses in the reports. So we sent to Procurator's office, to the Security Service of Ukraine, some of the facts and figures, and there are a lot of court proceedings. So we have a lot of questions from some other directors why this is a very great reluctance among the people involved in this process. That's why I'm appealing to our community, to our society. If you eyewitnessed certain corruptive actions, please report on them to militia, to police, to prosecutor's office, to the State Security Service. The first big losses and damages for our enterprise is, first of all, we are speaking about the postal marks falsified, and the opportunity, a chance for anybody to send a big volume of correspondence not paying for that. So we have certain steps already done. We had expert evaluation on the counterfeit products, counterfeit postal marks, and we have a special machinery, a special technique to understand if this is counterfeit or genuine postal mark. Now we have an investigation from the Ukrainian Security Service, and hopefully we will stop all that losses, and the losses could reach dozens of millions per year. I know that we had investigators from the prosecutor's office recently as visitors, and they seized certain documents from the people that could be involved in that type of activity. And once again, I would stress that the money that could be shadowed in our turnover, it's dozens of millions hryvnia per year. I'm sure that due to the proper work of our people, our enterprise, we will break this scheme, and due to Security Service of Ukraine efforts, there will not be a chance to falsify postal marks or to send postal correspondence without payment. Again, we have a new project, a project of digital postal mark, and it will stop any chance of counterfeiting the marks. Again, today we have another example, and the materials have already been submitted to the militia. This is Khmelnytsky Director's Office. A new head of the office was appointed. After that, we revealed a scheme where certain personnel, certain people, certain employees, they duplicated codes, they used them in the network, and the parcels that have been sent, they were uncontrolled, and people, they just put money into their pockets, and the majority of workers in Ukrposhta, they worked free. Nobody paid them, so now we dismissed one of our employees, 2 of them suspended from their jobs. Again, there are certain interesting facts in Khmelnytsky region of illegal use of land plots, and roughly it invoked damages of 800,000 hryvnia. This is another criminal case that was filed for this fact, and I am convinced it will again be a court proceeding for that. The third fact in Khmelnytsky branch, the fact of taking money into the pockets of our employees. This is another fact. This is the third criminal case that have been filed in Khmelnytsky branch. One more case will be open as well. In 2014, in our enterprise, there was a company worked, supplied fuel for us with higher costs. It was 18 million hryvnia of losses in 2014, and today all the necessary evidences passed to the Prosecutor's Office of Ukraine, and document seizure has already been done, and I've already dismissed many people in December. We had seizures as well for those facts, and I am convinced that all the proper facts and figures will be submitted to the law court. And in oil purchase, we had losses of 18 million hryvnia in 2014. Another very interesting case, Zlatobank Delta Bank. 2 banks that were already was involved into bankruptcy procedure. 50 million hryvnia, 40 million hryvnia was transferred to the accounts in those banks when they already been under bankruptcy procedure, and all the necessary data we have already passed to the investigator's office. So we managed to get back from Delta Bank 37 million hryvnia and 7 million plus. We have still in the bank. Now we are involved in court proceedings. I believe that we will win all that cases, but we understand that our courts, they work improperly, and we will learn all the guilty people, their names and data, that put their signatures, that ordered to transfer money, etc. So we changed the structure of our enterprise, and thanking to that, we've already made a savings around 40 million hryvnia in salaries in our company. I dismissed 21 top managers, including 17 managers, top managers of oblast branches, for the reasons that they worked improperly. They brought losses to our company. Not only we're speaking about losses and damages, but we're speaking about corruption. And still we have a question mark on that. And it's a job for the court to prove this. But even as our Prime Minister and our President mentioned, even before we prove facts, when we see corruption, we must hold it, stop it. Again, 21 top managers again were dismissed, and I promise you we will have more dismissals of people that are not in line with the job prescriptions. They are not able to work in our enterprise and make our enterprise profitable, because the majority of our branches, they are profitable, and only some of the enterprises bring in losses, like Sumy, Melnitsky, 80,000. Now we have 3,200,000 of losses, and today we decided to dismiss him and passed all the necessary documents to the ministry. Again, this guy for very strangely fell ill, and we believe that proper decision will be made, including certain proper court decisions and proceedings of the law enforcement nature. We have Poltava branch as well bringing us losses, and the nearest time its director will give us all the necessary claims. So the militia and prosecutor's office already filed more than 40 criminal cases for the people of our enterprises. Of course, it will hit our image, it will spoil the reputation of our enterprise, but when we are speaking about the transparency and the activity of our enterprise, we must mention our bottlenecks, our drawbacks, and we will fight them jointly with our personnel. The majority of personnel, they are clean. Moreover, they not only clean, they do not know about the existence of this scheme and frauds. Moreover, certain people, they report on some of them. As I mentioned before, as for real estate issues and land plot issues, Lviv branch, Morshin town, there the top managers, they took or grabbed premises in the center of the town. Again, Truskovets, the property ownership as well was distorted, and we sent all the necessary documents to the prosecutor's office and the security services involved in that. And there's investigation underrun there. The premises are very attractive because they are situated in the tourist area of Truskovets, and again we hope that all the people guilty for that, they will be punished. Once again, a man who was dismissed, he is now claimed and appealed against his dismissal. To my understanding, in Lviv, he is already involved in a criminal investigation, criminal case proceedings, but he's trying to get in back to this job, the job that brings not very high salary, rather very low, but it is very attractive for him. Moreover, we initiated the system of transparent procurement system in Ukraine. It's electronic procurement system, and yesterday our parliament has adopted very important, as I believe, law for our country, for all the countries, a law on electronic or digital procurement procedures. This law enables us to have our procurement actions transparent and open for anybody who would like to monitor this and be able to do that. Now we've already done 40 purchases. The savings is 1,800,000 hryvnia compared to last year. So despite the prices increased, we still have savings. It is due to this system, thanking to this law, because we have now transparent process, procedures, people, they could trace all the transactions in this system, and again I have a very close monitoring of the activity of economic nature in our enterprise. We have our own security service. We have certain orders that put limits to the movements of technical and administrative vehicles, and due to this program we already made savings in fuel only over 60 million hryvnia, 20 million hryvnia for service cars or management cars, and 40 million we changed the routes of our technological cars. Again, we are now we have an enterprise, Ukrposhta. They have a lot of vehicles. The fleet is great, and we have certain signs of corruption there or abuse of the fleet. We did proper steps to submit all the facts to the investigative offices. And the state enterprise Ukrposhta, we will have checks and examination for the results after dismissals of top managers, and we will check what the law enforcement efforts brought to in sense of punishment of such people. So this is only a small part of everything that we managed to overcome. We'll see, and due to broad public, due to the efforts of the entire society, we will be able to overcome this problem, because our enterprise, and once again I stress it, has all the prerequisites to work profitable. Today, as I've already mentioned, due to cooperation with the Security Service of Ukraine, we stopped the activity of storing 17 million hryvnia in the cloud, and we have already signed an agreement so we now have the same service with a price of 6.5 million hryvnia. We audited our programs, and today we have savings because of licenses, unnecessary licenses. We got rid of them, and it's 8 million hryvnia of savings. The changes of service center structure, it's another saving of 3 million hryvnia. I will continue this work in the future, and I will contact, say, report to our society, report to my personnel on the steps of anti-corruptive nature. I understand that my time is ended. Thank you, Igor. Now, if any questions, please, dear colleagues. Bogdana Kostyuk, Svoboda, Freedom Radio. First question is typically journalistic. If we count all the problems of corruption, what is the amount of losses for the state budget of Ukraine and Ukrposhta of that corruption as a result of this corruptive action? Again, second question, do you have a simplified procedure for parcel sending to ATO zone and to our servicemen? Roughly the amount of losses of corruptive actions in my case, it's 95 roughly million hryvnia. This is, it's not the losses to the state budget, it's losses to our enterprise, but our enterprise is a state enterprise, and those money could be used otherwise to update and modernize our structure. As for simplified parcel sending procedure from the very first days, our enterprise helps to temporarily displaced persons, to servicemen that coming back. We support them. If I'm not mistaken, it's around 18 million tons. We collected those cargoes ourselves without any involvement of volunteers. Around 1.5 million hryvnia our employees collected and passed to the medical institutions where our servicemen having treatment, and today we have a special order that all of our people, all of our employees that will be involved in ATO, will be involved in army service, they will be 100% supported by our enterprise. Now we are involved in the arrangements for simplified procedure of parcel sending to our servicemen, but unfortunately the procedure of changing tariffs is very complicated with the involvement of National Electricity Regulatory Commission, the Parliament, and etc. etc. Thank you, Igor. I see next question. Please introduce yourself. Good morning, Igor Vitalyevich, Roman Davydenko, Protection Right Law Firm. My question is, will it be logically ended, the criminal cases that were filed before for the top management? Will the money of 95 million of the losses be recovered to your budget? Next question, probably you have any tests for the people, they are probably will be a lie detector or something like that. As for the tracing of the cases, I mentioned it's around 40 criminal cases filed, and some of them already submitted to the court. I assure you that we will monitor all the cases, and every kopeck, every cent we will. And now the Security Service of Ukraine run monitoring of all the cases. If we will be unable to have a logical ending of all that, then we're worth nothing, because many people, they will consider this as lack of punishment for corruptive actions. As for the second question, you understand that the lie detector, it's not very legal action, but nevertheless we must employ people that have that want to work, that have large experience, vast experience of working previously as managers. Moreover, they must be specialists in their field. If they are managers or drivers, they must be professionals, but nevertheless we must understand that we shall have all the necessary actions to educate people, to train them, for them to understand, to share their experience, job experience. And we have a lot of professions here where the knowledge of certain peculiarities of our work differs from the, say, specifics of railroad job. Rio Gazette. Couple of questions. You've already mentioned that there are certain facts you mentioned with the counterfeit postal marks, and it is interesting for our readers. What do you do to reveal those facts, and what are your steps against that? Moreover, what is your attitude to the increase of criminal liability for this type of fraud? Unfortunately, in our criminal code, we do not have any line dealing with the counterfeiting of postal marks, so we have only administrative punishment. Now we have already passed draft regulations to put this into criminal code. As for the mechanism of how to reveal it, the total number of our people is 77,000, means employees, and of course our people, 100% of them in this or that moment have the human factor involved, means people read that and they understand where is the fake postal marks. As for the first steps, we have 17 million hryvnia that understood those money as losses because of this problem, and I believe that this will again be filed as a court case. The last question. Людмила Бацай, Поштовый Вестник newspaper. Please make your comments for the situation in Chernigiv branch of Ukrposhta, where the head of this branch was accused in bribery. In 2014, the top manager was dismissed, a new team came, the team from Lviv, and the majority of these Lviv people, they are involved in all the criminal cases, so they dismissed top manager in that branch, in Chernihiv branch. They appointed a new man in April, last April, this April, and next something was wrong. According to the understanding of the top managers of our company, and they dismissed him in 4 months. He appealed to the court. You know the procedure. The majority of civil servants, they immediately fall ill. After recovery, he appealed to the court. He was recovered his job, but this branch is bringing us losses. And professionally, the ministry did not approve his candidature, so he was dismissed once again. He again appealed to the court, and I understand that he is a player in one of the political force, and they would like to use postal services for electoral propaganda, electoral support. Our resource they would like to use in this. So again, they have a chain of court sessions, and we have court sessions for putting back into job Mr. Ruter, who the previous head of the office, head of this branch. So this is a long red tape of court procedures. So we will pour light on that issues as well. We will have another checks. I will send security service there. Colleagues, if you have any questions, you please put them by means of correspondence. Thank you very much, and we will report on the third quarter